Hey, hey, hey. Go. Let's go. Um, what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It's the Shi-Fi podcast, episode 92. Um, let's see. Let me start the timer real quick. Um, what's good? What's good? I started this or I was thinking about doing a podcast, but then I was like, I don't know what to talk about because I don't know. I feel like the older I get, the less and less things I consume. I guess in a way. So I know, like the world's not that boring right now. I just am not watching as much things. Um, I know this past week was situation with the police brutality world. Um, I think the dude got guilty. Um, yeah, I mean, that's how it is. I try not to let things like distract me. Again, just getting older. This is how it is. But I mean, that's a human trait. I think this is how it is. I feel like sometimes I maybe do it way too less than normal. And honestly, but I'm not trying to be out of touch from like the cool standpoint. From like I'm still wanting to be on certain apps. Um, I just want to know what's going on without like I'm recognizing what can distract me, and I'm recognizing, oh, this is a good distraction. I know it's very tough because you can really get bogged down in life, and you can really let things affect you if you don't watch it. Um, I don't know, I'm a big word guy. I'm a big connotation type of dude. Um, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I'm just gonna talk. I'm a big guy when it comes to word connotation. Um, I ref no, I don't refuse to say certain words. I refuse to say certain words because they have negative things, um, negative mindsets, um, and I just don't say it. And I try my best to not say it. For example, I don't say the word work. I never say the word work because you and I both know, you and us, whoever's listening, work has a really bad connotation. And when I say connotation, it's just like when you think of word, is the first thing you think of a positive thing or a negative thing? Um, I sound really weird right now, but I don't know. I think it's because I don't want to view my like. I always say employment opportunities. I always say servant opportunities. I don't say work. I say employment. I say serving. I say shifts because we're all helping out each other with these businesses we have, hospitals. We're all um, making transactions with each other when it comes to that type of thing. And when people say work, it always has a stressful meaning behind it. I feel like everybody has, no one has ever said, "Oh yeah, I went to work today." You know, like everybody says, I went to work. Yeah, work was stressful. Work was horrible. Work sucked." And it's just like that word worked is like got ruined for me. So I always say employment and also like I don't know, it encourages me to like, okay, I don't want to be that type of person. I don't want to. It's employment. I like to be employed. I like to make I don't make a living. Yeah, I don't know. There is. I've always with the whole connotation world, there was always a story that kind of really um was very interesting to me. So Kanye West, he said he got a dictionary and he started highlighting the words. He would read down each word and he would highlight the words that have a positive correlation to it. Like fun or happy, or you know there are words that like you think of like vibe, feelings, happy, yay, like, and then he would just not highlight the words that have a bad stigma towards them. Mortgage, loans, debt, like that type of thing. And I think that's kind of cool. I think that is kind of really cool. um, Words really impact us. I know it sounds cheesy, but um, especially our own words, our inner words. Sometimes people can be hard on you can be hard on yourself, but that's fine. That's fine as long as you're trying to encourage yourself at the end of the day. What else? Mm, let's see. I don't really have anything to talk about right now. I don't. I had the strategy of just kind of like just start it the podcast and see what we can do. Um, I mean, I guess with the baseball world, this is mostly I've been keeping up with baseball right now because I've always been I'm fascinated with the betting lines, the betting game of it. Um, I remember first couple weeks of the season, I picked the Athletics. No. So I picked the Athletics to go to the World Series and lose to the Dodgers. That was my official prediction. And the first couple of weeks, the Athletics went like lost like, but the record was like 3-10 or something like that. And I was like, what happened? Like, I was kind of like, oh, maybe I should delete that podcast. But now they're on an 11-game win streak, and that's why I hate baseball. That is why like I'm so used to like basketball, football. Like, oh, if you go on like a 8-game losing streak, you are trash. Or if you're going on an 11-game winning streak, then you're like elite. They're just, I mean, they're elite, but there's still 140,000 more games left. So yeah, I don't know. That's very. I was very happy to see that they're on an 11-game win streak. I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be very embarrassing to tell my baseball expert friends. Um, what else? Rangers are doing relatively well. They're not like horrible. They're kind of below average, which is pretty good for Rangers. Let's see. Um, let's talk NBA. Let's see. The NBA is heating up. The NBA is heating up. I love this time of year. But usually every April, like like if it was a normal season, the playoffs would be starting. Best time of the year. Best time of the year. Nothing. Best sports season of the year. Um, it'll be interesting to see this year with it being a COVID year. It's gonna be the first time where the finals is gonna be in July. That's gonna be very very odd. Um, hmm. Um, let's see. Any thoughts? To me, it feels like the NBA is a little drunk right now. Just a little bit. Just a little. Like there's like with these injuries and just like there's so many questions that need to be answered um, in the playoffs. Um, I don't know. Here's some thoughts on the East. Eastern Conference. I've always thought this. There's 3 teams in the Eastern Conference, and that's it. I know. 3 teams, everybody else. I mean, you do have these little teams here and there that you could see make runs here and there. I don't know. Like the Celtics and the Heat. Those are the 2 teams that are down there in the seeding that could do something. I've been saying this for months now. The number 1 seed in the East is the most valuable seed, I think, in the NBA right now. Just because it's being a number 1, like the contrast of being a number 1 seed and a number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference is crazy. Because what it's looking like right now, the number 1 seed will be playing either the Hornets or Pacers, which are not really perennial playoff teams. And then they would be playing the Knicks or the Hawks in the 4 or 5 in the second round. But with the 2 or 3 seed, you're going to be either playing the Celtics or the Heat, which is a very kind of tough first round matchup. And then the 2 and 3 seed teams in the East would be playing each other, which is also wild. Since there's only really 3 teams in the Eastern Conference I'm taking seriously. So the 76ers, they're number 1 seed right now. They will only have to play, their route would be Hornets, Knicks, and then Nets. With the Brooklyn Nets, the number 2 seed, they would be playing the Miami Heat, who went to the NBA Finals last year. Then they got to play the Milwaukee Bucks, who had the back-to-back MVP. And then they would have to be playing the Philadelphia 76ers. That is way different than the number 1 seed. So, I mean, also the healthiest team out of those 3 is the 3 seed. So they could definitely be making a run here and there. Especially with Sixers and Brooklyn Nets being so injury prone recently. Also, I just love how the Brooklyn Nets, every day, there's questions with injuries, and they're just throwing people out. They're just throwing players out. If you can play, play. If you can't, sit out. And they're tied for the number 1 seed. They're limping, literally, to the number 1 seed or number 2 seed in the East. Those guys just cannot remain healthy. I don't get it at all. The Harden injury is a little bit concerning, just because of the hamstring, and because he's been playing well this year. And I think he is the second most valuable player on that team. I think Kyrie's the 3rd guy. Come on, let's be honest. You could make a case Harden is the number 1 guy. You could really make a case. You could, but I'm not trying to anger people. But, KD, he's an all-timer. But Harden and KD, if they're healthy, I think they're good. I think they could still possibly win a championship. But I think if Harden, I think people are asking like, oh, is this concerning right now? Is this a big deal? I wouldn't say just all of that. I think there's still a month left. They honestly just need to have those guys healthy, and they could still win a championship. They could have Kyrie, Harden, and KD the day before Game 1 in the NBA Finals, and I think that'd be fine. Their presence is such a big deal. I think they'll be just fine. Let's see, Kyrie. But with this Harden injury, it just kind of felt like, wow. I think Steve Nash was quoted saying, "Oh, back to square one," which I kind of think there is because they've only played 6 games together, that trio, and that was like what, back in February. So their chemistry is definitely going to be concerning, but if I was a Nets fan, I would not be stressed right now. I would only be stressed if one of those 3 players had a season-ending injury. I would definitely be, and I would hope it's Kyrie. Knock on wood. That was a weird to say, but yeah, it's just as long as I have one of those guys for the first round matchup, or honestly two of those guys for the first round matchup. Yeah, I don't know. And it's funny because like they still win some of these games with just one of those 3 guys. Yeah, I don't know. Very weird. I love the Knicks. I love that they're on this 8-game win streak. Madison Square Garden is popping. I love it. I've always said the NBA is better when the Lakers and the Knicks are elite. We're going to have both of those guys in the playoffs, and we're going to have both of those teams in a hot first round matchup, especially the Knicks. And the second round matchup, I love it. I love it. Um, the energy is different. Energy is different when big market teams are in the playoffs. And I've always wanted to experience a Knicks run in the playoffs, like a '90s run, because I don't know. You see highlights of like the '90s Knicks, and it's very like nostalgia, like New York City, um, the Knicks, Patrick Ewing, John Starks. I don't know. It brings back weird nostalgia feelings for some reason. Um, yeah, I like it. I really like it. I cannot wait. I hope they make it to the second round at least. A Sixers Knicks second round. I'm gonna take that. I would take that. Um, Trying to see if I'd have picked the #1 seed right now, who would the top 3 teams in order? Um, I think honestly, I think the Bucks are really in it. Like I think the Bucks are gonna make a really strong surge. These last few games. I think it will be Sixers, Bucks as the 2 seed, and the Nets as the 3 seed. Right, currently the Nets and Sixers are 2.5 games in front of the Bucks. I think the Sixers, as long as they have Embiid, they can really finish pretty well. But if watching the Bucks game last night, I was very encouraged. I was like, okay, I actually like their team a little bit better. Um, mm, I like that no one is really liking or falling in love with this team because I hated the hype this Bucks team has had the past couple years. I hated it because I hate when teams get unnecessary hype. When you don't do anything. I don't care if you were the #1 seed in the regular season. Get to the NBA finals, And I think that really died down this past year with, when you're a #1 seed, when you have the back-to-back MVP, when you're the #1 seed for 2 years and have the MVP for 2 years, and you don't make the NBA finals, that is you can't do that. You cannot do that in this world. You have to make the finals at least in one of those years. Yeah, they definitely should have. But what else? What else? Any other thoughts? Not really. Uh back to about the Bucks. I like them better just because they don't have as much hype. So I feel like they are playing with a little bit less pressure. I love the acquisition of PJ Tucker I think PJ would. The Bucks always just felt like very wimpy, like the past 2 years. That's just me talking. But I think with PJ is definitely a different type of dude. He definitely brings a lot more. I feel like a lot more just physical toughness, just because the dude is a 6'4" power forward. Like, he is very undersized. He still gets so many rebounds. I love it. His energy, I definitely would think is going to help the Bucks. Um, yeah, I'm really encouraged by that team right now. I'm kind of liking them. All right, Western Conference thoughts. Hmm, it's very interesting because the top two teams in the Western Conference, what it's looking like are very unproven. They have no success. They have no experience. They have nothing at all. So, you know, whenever I think about those teams, I always think about like the 2015 Warriors. They were just random number one seed and then went to the NBA Finals and won it. But then you also think of teams like the 2015 Atlanta Hawks, number one seed randomly, and then just get swept in the Eastern Conference Finals. But maybe that was just because of the LeBron effect. Who knows? But it's hard for me to take the Jazz and Suns seriously. The Jazz, just because they're the Jazz, I hate to say it. Um, the Jazz have always just been bleh to me. Donovan Mitchell, I'm just going to say it, is not a top 10 player to me, not a top 15 player to me right now. And that's very odd of a number one seed, you know? The Jazz, I think, give off like very team oriented vibes. Um, yeah, I'm really liking, no, not liking, but I'm really just questioning the Jazz. They just seem like a 4 seed. And how it's looking right now, they'll probably be playing the Lakers in the second round. That's going to be very interesting. That is going to be an interesting series. The Suns are the number 2 seed. Again, they have less playoff experience than the Jazz, but they do have Chris Paul. They do. So maybe that cancels each other out. Devin Booker, I am happy for Devin Booker. It is weird to see the Suns being 42-17. Very odd. I love it. The Suns, I am a Devin Booker stan. I've always said he is this generation's Kobe Bryant. People have ridiculed me because of that comment, and I stand firm with that comment. I really hope they are good. That would be amazing to see Devin Booker and CP3 in the NBA Finals. I think I talked about this a couple of podcasts ago. Like, this has really impressed me just from the Chris Paul standpoint. Chris Paul really said, "Hi, y'all. I'm turning y'all into a number 2 seed." Who would have thought? I did not think it at all. I think at best they'd have been a number 7 seed, number 6 or 7 seed at best. But a 2 seed, that's kind of nuts. Clippers are number 3. No one is taking the Clippers seriously, especially after last year. So that's very, very interesting. I always like the Clippers and the Bucks. I always am very wary or a little bit scared of those type of teams because they have no pressure. Like, if they lost in the first round, both those teams, people be like, I told you so, like, haha. But with that being like the bare minimum, I feel like they're more hungry. I feel like those type of teams are very. So I'm always, when people sleep on certain teams, I'm always kind of like, well, at the end of the day, they still got Kawhi and Paul George. I'm a Paul George hater. I'm a day one Paul George hater. I was a Paul George hater before it was cool. Um, but these type of teams kind of scare me because they have the talent. They have championship talent, but no one's taking them seriously, and that that is always a weird dilemma. I would not be surprised if it is a Clippers Bucks NBA Finals. That is weird for me to say. I hate both those teams, like especially last year, but I'm always very like, when teams do not have much pressure, but they have the talent, those are definitely dangerous type of teams because no pressure. I feel like they play better. Number 4 seed, the Nuggets, Jamal Murray out. That is a very sad injury because I felt that the Nuggets would be very contending for NBA Finals. They were, oh man, if Jamal Murray was healthy normal, I would be predicting a Lakers Nuggets NBA Western Conference Finals again. Um, Especially with the acquisition, they were just heating up as well with the acquisition of Aaron Gordon. I mean, they're on weirdly a 4-game win streak. Maybe other people will step up. Maybe Jokic will elevate his game more. Jokic is probably going to win MVP, which is very odd. Um, Steph better not win MVP, by the way. Just putting that out there. So I'm not hating. Just he's a 10 seed right now. That's all. But the Lakers just feels like they're just like, let's get in the playoffs. I mean, I feel like if they are a 4 seed or 5 seed, they'll be happy because it's basically a number 1 seed. The number 1 and 4 seeds are going to play each other anyway. But back to the Nuggets. Very sad because also Jamal Murray will be out for half of next year. Like, man. So sad. So sad. Very odd. Trailblazers, Mavericks, 7 seed. That's my team. I don't know. A couple weeks ago, I was like, with Jamal Murray going out and all these injuries, low key, if the Mavs make like a very surge to the 5 seed, which they still could, Luka MVP, who's here for it? Seriously though, if they're on a 2-game win streak right now, and if they beat the Lakers again on Saturday and they win some more games, just saying, you heard it here first. But I do think Jokic is going to win MVP, but you never know. If the Mavs could get that 5 seed, if the Mavs get the 5 seed, Luka's MVP. Because this year is so weird with all these injuries. Like, they're not going to give this MVP to someone that's played half the season, like Embiid or LeBron or AD or KD. There's not. So, and honestly, I was thinking about this the other day. I'm like, why is Giannis not getting any MVP love? Like, they really said, you didn't make the NBA Finals with your back-to-back MVP. You're not getting one this year. Because, I mean, what if they make the number 1 seed? Give them the MVP again. I don't know. It's interesting, though. So, Grizzlies, well, I just do not want the Mavs in the play-in. I hate the play-in so much. And it's not because I'm a Mavs fan. I hated it back then. I hate it so much because this is not what the NBA is about. The NBA has always been about the better team will always win. Just because it's a best out of 7 series, those playoffs, this thing is like a what? Double elimination situation. Like, you have to win 1 game and then you're a 7 seed, but if you lose that and then you lose again, then you're just out. So tell me, so a 7 or 8 seed that has a very clear advantage over a 9 or 10 seed can lose all the work they had gained from the 70-game season in 2 games. Like, it reminds me of baseball. I hated the baseball play-in game because it was so disrespectful. I felt like, because you play 162 games for a 1-game playoff. It just never sat right with me. That just is very. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. So I hope the Mavs get the 6th seed. I don't know. But I heard Kyle Lowry did definitely kind of help that argument. Like, it's a COVID year, it's the COVID NBA season. I get it, I guess, but I just do not want. I just don't want this to be a normal thing. I just don't want that to be a normal occurrence at all. At all. So I can always talk about NBA. I always forget about that. Let's see. I think that's about it. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap up this episode. Thank you for watching. Check out everything on my YouTube channel. I dropped a song. That's my song of the week. Shi-Fi, My DNA. Yeah, look it up, play it. It's in my DNA. Don't need the time away. Just piece away. Good song. I went more rappy on that song. I'm just changing my style here and there. Yeah, check that song of the week. Shout out to the city of Grand Prairie. Because we're growing. We're the next Arlington. We're gonna be a top 50 city very soon. I feel it. We're 130, I think, or maybe in the 80s. I don't know. We're gonna crack in that top 50 pretty soon, because they're gonna run out of room in Arlington. They got to. They have to. That's just a thing. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Peace. Appreciate y'all. Tune in to the next pod. I'm out. Shout out.